When I made my first quilt about 10 years ago, I had no idea what I was doing. I basically woke up one day and thought, yeah, I'll give that a go. I was making children's clothing at the time, so I knew how to choose fabric, but that was it. I mean, that's all you need to know, right? Wrong. I had no clue that patchwork and quilting were two different things, and I definitely didn't know anything about the technical stuff. So, here's a list of 7 things I wish I knew before I started quilting. Number 1, all fabric is not created equal. Different fabrics have different weights and different textures. For quilt making, it's best to stick with cotton, and good quality cotton at that. I'm going to show you a couple of examples of good quality fabric and cheaper fabric. In the absence of using natural light, I'm actually going to use a camera light, and hopefully you guys will get the gist of what I'm trying to say. So we've got fabric A, and we have a sample of fabric B. It's probably a little bit hard to tell through a camera lens, but which do you think is the better quality fabric? How long do you think this thinner one is going to last? A few washes and that will start to wear through. It might even separate from the seam. So for longevity, use good quality fabric. The way you can tell whether it's good quality or not is the weave of the fabric. This one has more of an open weave, and that's why you can see through it a little bit more, whereas this one has a little bit more of a closed weave. And that's why it's a little bit harder to see through. So if you're shopping for fabric and you hold it up to the light and you can basically see through your fabric, then you know that's probably not going to give you the longevity that you need for your quilt. Before you make your first quilt, there are definitely some investments that you'll need to make. And one of those investments is a rotary cutter and a cutting mat. Because when it comes to patchwork and quilting, scissors just aren't going to cut it. I mean, technically they will, but you want to get your cuts accurate and the same every single time, and scissors just aren't going to do that. Let me show you what I mean by that. I have a strip of fabric here that I'm going to cut one piece off with the pair of scissors and the other piece with a rotary cutter and ruler. So let's have a crack at this. That hasn't worked out very well for me. And now using the rotary cutter and a ruler, you have a little bit more control, I think, with a rotary cutter than you do with a pair of scissors. So here's the one I cut with the pair of scissors. Whoops, you can see that I've gone a little bit askew there. And here's the one I cut with the rotary cutter. So when it comes to patchwork and quilting, little things like this do matter. You have to be super accurate with your cutting. Otherwise, you're going to have wonky seams and you might not be happy, I guess, with the end result. So if you can, get things right at the start with accuracy by purchasing a rotary cutter, and you'll definitely need a cutting mat to cut on, because you don't want to, this is super sharp and you don't want to be cutting on wooden surfaces or anything like that. So protect your surfaces by getting yourself a mat. The advantage also of having a mat is that it has these really cool markings on it. So it has, most mats have inches on them. Some mats also have centimeter markings on them. The advantage, number 3, use a patchwork ruler to cut accurately. It's also important to use the same brand of ruler throughout the whole project because, again, all rulers are not created equal. I have 3 different brands of ruler here. And as you can see, the markings on them are not all the same. Every ruler or every patchwork ruler will have at least inch, half inch, and quarter inch markings. I'm not sure if you can see that. Some of them also have eighth of an inch markings, and some of them have 30-degree markings, 45-degree markings, and 60-degree markings. You need to find the brand of ruler that suits you the best. This is the brand of ruler, or this is the exact ruler actually, that I started my patchwork journey on. It's Creative Grids, and it's the one that I've been using throughout most of my projects. It's a 8.5 by 24.5 inch ruler, and I find it really good for cutting long widths of fabric. They also make lots of different sizes. As I said, choose the brand of ruler that you feel most comfortable with and that suits your budget. Accuracy in measuring leads to accuracy in cutting and piecing, which gives you a perfect quilt. Now, when I talk about perfection, I mean your level of perfection. We're not all the same. We all have a different view on what we'd like our quilts to look like. What suits me won't suit you. But why not try to make your quilt as accurate as possible? I always strive for perfection, but I'm happy to accept human error. Some of my quilts are great and some not so much, but once they're finished, I move on to the next one and I hardly give the mistakes of the other one a thought. If you improve with each quilt you make, then that's something to be proud of, which leads me to tip number 4. An accurate quarter-inch seam. In patchwork and quilting, it is so important that your seams are accurate and the same width throughout the project. And to make sure or to ensure of accuracy, we use this little guy here. This is called a quarter-inch foot or a patchwork foot. Now, as you can see, it has a guide on the side, and that is where you rest your fabric when you're sewing your seams. Now, when it comes to making a quilt, obviously we want it to be as accurate as possible. So let me show you an example of inaccuracy in sewing seams. I'll show you from the back because it's probably a little bit easier to see from the back. So here you can see that the seam is a little bit greater than 1/4 of an inch. Yes, that one looks okay, but again, here, this seam is definitely bigger than 1/4 of an inch. And it kind of gets a little bit better, but then it kind of peters out a bit. So inaccuracy in seams will give you a quilt top that looks a little bit like this, where when we've sewn the rows together, you can see that this row here is not matching up with this row here. So again, we've got the top row not matching with the bottom rows, and all the way along it's compounded all the way along that row of quilting. And then when we get right to the end, we'll see that the edges don't actually match up. So accuracy is definitely key. This one will have to be unpicked and redone again. Tip number 6, chain piecing to speed up the process. Not sure what I mean by chain piecing? Let's go over to the machine and I'll show you. If you have a number of pieces or blocks the same, chain piecing is a quick way to get them done. Chain piecing is an assembly line style of sewing your fabric pieces or blocks together where you continuously sew one after the other without snipping the thread or without lifting the foot. So you just feed it through one after the other in one big long chain. Tip number 7, press your seams, don't iron. This tip is super important. Pressing means that you lift the iron and set it straight down again rather than sliding it along like you do when you iron, which helps avoid creating creases along the seam lines and the folds of fabric. Ironing may also cause your fabric to be pushed out of shape, and we definitely don't want that. We just want a press so that there's no pushing and no stretching of your fabric. While I'm at the iron, here's a bonus tip for you. Use spray starch. This is not totally essential, but wow, it sure does make a difference to the accuracy of my piecing. Before I make a cut usually is when I starch my fabric, because once pressed there's less movement in the fabric and less stretch. Also, once the fabric is cut, it's less likely to fray along the raw edges when handled. You'll also feel a difference too once you've starched your fabric as opposed to fabric you haven't starched. It just seems to have a bit more structure to it, I guess. So yeah, bonus tip number 8, use spray starch. Well, thank you for sticking around to watch my video on top tips for new patchworkers and quilters. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a thumbs up. It really helps me to make more videos that you want to see. If you have some feedback for me, please let me know in the comments. I can use all the help I can get. If you're interested in seeing more quilting videos, including tips and inspiration, hit the subscribe button. Thanks again and happy sewing!